Jesus Christ. So, no one has fucking posted on the podcast channel for like 5 or so months. So, I figure, hey, why not just do a solo project real quick wherein I just sort of complain about everything going on in my life? Because if I don't speak out loud about just the amount of bullshit bouncing around in my head like a demented game of pinball in which I am definitely winning. I'm getting the high score. I've breezed past every person on the leaderboard of this game where every ball hits like a fucking random thought and that thought's like, oh, you should kill yourself, and it bounces off that and it hits like, oh, no one loves you, and it bounces off that and it's just like, wow, you should just not get out of bed, and it bounces. It's like a continual cycle of like me on a base level knowing that I'm a decent person that doesn't deserve to die and like deserves to like have regular meals and like drink plenty of water and go outside and all this other bullshit. But I'm just find myself mentally incapable of like doing this shit. And I don't know. I guess I do. It's fucking quarantine. But on top of that, it's also just I think things are going to get better. Like, I have a depressive episode, it lasts 2 weeks, and then I sort of recover. And I think, oh, like, that's the last time that'll happen. That's the last time I'll, like, tie a noose around my neck and try to kill myself. But then I'm good for like a month. But then I'm back here. And, like, during that month where things are good, it's so easy to, like, sit in my room and, like, listen to music and think, wow, like, this is such a nice moment. Like, I'm so glad I didn't kill myself last month because this month is good and I'm enjoying this moment. And in the future, I'll be able to look back still and think, wow, this moment's good too. And I'm glad that I'm alive and that I didn't kill myself back then. But then I'm in the situation I'm in now, which is objectively my past version's future, wherein I do wake up and I want to die. So how can I look how can I in like good conscience in moments where things are good look back and think, oh, I'm glad I didn't kill myself because now is great. How can I apply that mindset when if I applied that mindset now, all I could really say was, oh fuck, like I can't look back and say, oh, I'm so glad I didn't kill myself because in the future I'll be glad that I'm alive. Because in the future, which is now, I'm not vibing. It's like shit's not going great. And it's not external shit. Like nothing has changed externally. Like I'm still doing well okay in life. My relationships with my friends are okay. Like everything is just okay. But my reaction to everything just being okay has changed, which makes everything seem so much worse. And if I react poorly to everything going on, then objectively speaking, everything around me will get worse. Like if my depression gets me down and makes it more difficult for me to interact with others, then my social life like becomes worse. Like I push people away when I'm depressed. Like that's a thing that I can point to. That's something that has been done in the past. Like a reason people have stopped being friends with me, a reason it's been difficult for me to make friends. And I can't just say, oh, it's in my head. Oh, it's just the mental illness. Because, like, the mental illness is the reason why my life is so fucking difficult. And I have a good track record of, like, still being here. I have a good track record of, like, not going through with all the suicide attempts and all that other bullshit. But I don't have as good of a track record of getting through it with the people I want to get through it with and with the resources I need to get through it with. Like, and then that sort of restarts the cycle because it's just like, oh, fuck. Being mentally ill, objectively speaking, pushes people away. And it's difficult to draw the line between it being, okay, it's me pushing them away and the thing that's happening to me is pushing them away. And in addition, I social interaction is so healthy when I'm depressed. But when I'm depressed, I'm fucking awful at socially interacting. And the things I value about myself when I'm doing well, like my charisma, my humor, my intelligence. Is that the thing that I can call it? Like, oh, I'm so fucking smart. I'm an intellect. Blah blah blah. I just don't have access to those attributes when I wake up at like 2 p.m. because all I had last night was like ice cream and White Claws because I couldn't bring myself to cook. And I don't I don't know how to like bring myself to talk to people because I know I'm being boring, because I know that I seem miserable and probably giving off that energy and I'm making them miserable via proxy to me. And I don't want people to associate like me with like sadness and loneliness and just a lack of contentment with life. But it's also difficult to say that that's not me. I can't physically say, oh, this is just a moment. Like the guy that you knew a month ago, the guy that was like funny and made you laugh and was like able to hold a natural conversation with you. That's like the norm because they're both the norm. Like I spent a good month being like great at life, like doing super well, like being genuinely happy. But then I spend an equal amount of time being on the opposite end of the spectrum. And it's not as if I can avoid maintaining relationships with my friends and the people I care about in that month. I can't just ghost people for a month and expect them to care about me just as much when I come back. So I have to interact, but how do I interact with these people when I know these interactions are bad? And I despise the fact that I like that like I'm sort probably driving people away during this time. Or maybe I'm not. Maybe it's just that my anxiety saying, hey man, because you're depressed, you're gonna suck at talking. But maybe I'm just as good at talking to people as I was before. But I don't think I am. So therefore I like lose confidence. And then my loss of confidence then ends up making me worse at conversation. Like I right now I'm so paranoid that everyone I'm close with right now like is annoyed by me and doesn't want me to be in their life. And on one hand, I can say, no, that's stupid. Like, of course they'd like you. But then on the other hand, I'm just like, why? Why though? Because right now in this moment, I suck. And I don't know how to get out of that mindset. Because I, this is awful. This is an awful podcast. Like, this is just, like, this isn't going to be funny. If it's funny, it's going to be on accident. My goal here isn't to be humorous. My goal here is just to like get everything out because I'm hoping the void that I'm screaming into has a PhD in fucking psychology and therapy. And this is just much cheaper than hiring a therapist. But I'm energized by battling my depression and overcoming small battles. Because the last few days I've so desperately wanted to like get blackout drunk just to like not have to deal with all this bullshit. I've so desperately wanted to like cut myself and to hurt myself in ways that would make me see blood and snap and I'd be like, okay, I've seen blood, got it. And then like that sort of activates my fight or flight. Like, okay, like I have something to do now. I need to wrap this up. I have to figure out how to hide this. It gives me sort of a purpose for like the next hour or so. And like those desires have been so strong. Like for a brief moment I was so like proud and like excited that I didn't do those things, that I didn't like just drink heavily and that I didn't take a knife to my skin. And it was exhilarating for a bit to be able to overcome those desires because in the past I definitely would have given in when the depression was this strong. But so I guess it's like a nice litmus test. Like I know I'm doing better. Like I can point to that and say, yes, you are doing better. But like just because uh, just because like lack of bad action doesn't automatically make good action. Like most people don't drink heavily and start cutting themselves when things start going wrong, when like they don't feel like themselves, when they feel like they need a boost, or when they feel like they need to just separate themselves from everything going on. Like, the fact that I didn't do that doesn't feel like something I should be proud of. Like, I did exactly what any other person would have done. So why am I so happy? Like, why am I so excited that I didn't do something? So I, and like, it doesn't help anymore because I still want to like drink just to drink, and I still want to hurt myself badly. And those desires don't lessen just because I get over it or just because I get through it one day. Like, they're still there. So I don't feel better anymore. I just feel shitty, and I feel like I. Because in moments like this, all I can really think about is like, okay, once I get past this, yeah, I'll be okay for a month. But then the next year, the next 2 years, the next 5 years, next 10 years, the rest of my fucking life, I'm going to have to deal with, okay, good for a month, bad for a month, good for a month, bad for a month. I'm going to spend half of my life being miserable. And I don't know if I can take that. I don't know if I can do that. And I I've told myself over and over again, like, I'm not gonna kill myself. I'm not gonna kill myself. Like, I know you want to. I know you want to. You really want to fucking do it. It would be so easy to do it. Except it's sort of not. Like, it takes so much energy to like make that decision. Like, because how am I supposed to like kill myself and I can't even like get out of bed or make a meal? Like, how am I supposed to take a knife and like cut my wrist open, or like take a toaster and like fill up the tub and like drop it? That's so much mental. That's so much work, and it, it it's frustrating to realize that the only reason I haven't killed myself isn't because of like, oh, willpower, like, oh, I'm a warrior, like I'm a strong person, like I'm here to live, god damn it. Like, those are never the reasons. The reasons are that I'm too exhausted to do it, which feels defeating. And I I hate having to rely on such small victories still related to my mental illness to combat my mental illness. That's sort of like if I was punched in the face and repeatedly every single day, just punched in the face, and I gained pleasure from just not feeling the pain, or just like lessening the pain somehow. This is a horrible analogy, but I think it's as close as I can get. But I I want to be able to derive happiness from things I do myself externally, from having a good conversation, from like making a good video, from writing a good story. And it's easy to do those things when I'm in a good month, when I don't need to derive like a dopamine rush from accomplishing something. And I so desperately need that rush when I feel shit. But when I feel shit, I'm not capable of creating what I need to create. So what the fuck? Because when I'm depressed, I either just am physically incapable of creating something good, or everything I interact with, I, from my own perspective, begin to hate. And so I can't get what I need. Like, I'm I am like thrilled. I am like exhilarated. I'm strengthened by like being in a conversation with someone and then sort of realizing at the back of my head, like, I'm doing pretty well right now. But that only works when I'm already doing pretty well beforehand. Because if I'm depressed I try to think, okay, I know what to do. I'm gonna have a conversation with a human being and fucking own them linguistically. I can't do that because my brain feels like it belongs to someone else. Like I feel like I'm behind a glass wall controlling someone. And I guess that someone is me, but I'm not even really sure. But that's contrasted with like moments of like incredibly crisp clarity where I'm hyper aware of just how shitty I'm feeling and how I'm probably walking wrong. Everyone's watching me walk wrong. I'm probably breathing wrong. Definitely breathing wrong. Am I blinking too many times? Oh yeah, I'm definitely blinking too many times. Wait, no, like now I'm keeping my eyes too wide open. Everyone's gonna think I'm a freak. Like I and there's no fucking in between. I can't really choose to have it in between because if I focus on having it in between, then I'm just focusing too hard on being the opposite of whatever I'm doing wrong in that moment. And it's so difficult to overcome that every single second of every single day for the rest of my life. So yeah, I want to kill myself, obviously, because this fucking sucks. Like I would so much rather be someone else and and it's frustrating because the person I would want to be is the person I am during those good months. Because I'm fucking great during those months. I have no God. I don't worship God. I don't pray to God. But when I do pray to God, I ask Him to kill me. But if God was real, I am God, but only in those good months. I worship the person I once was. I worship the person I will eventually be once this is all over because I know he's going to be doing so much better than I am. And I wish I could be him, but I'm not right now. And it's so painful knowing that like that's within me somewhere, but it's blocked off for whatever reason. And I just have to wait to be better. And I just want it to be a switch. Gotta plug this shit in. I have like a lot of lights going on right now. Um, because this is a podcast, so obviously I should take care of the lighting situation. Um, I don't know. I've every day I feel like, all right, well we'll take care of that later. Then. Every day I feel like there's cotton in my chest, cotton in my lungs, cotton flowing in my veins, in my heart, in my stomach, just cotton, and like expands and like it fills me up and it makes it hard to breathe and like it it just it feels like it's everywhere. And then sometimes I feel like I can compress the cotton, like it takes up less room in my body, but as it takes up less room it like compacts and grows harder until it's just like a knot in my stomach. And I have to figure out what that is. And I don't know what it is, and sometimes I just spiral over the smallest things. Every day feels like a goddamn eternity, and I hate silence. I constantly have like a YouTube video or a show or a movie playing or a podcast, just anything that's a voice I have playing so I can't hear what I'm thinking about. And like as soon as I turn anything off, I just spiral. And I tell myself like I can't spend the entire day sitting in front of a screen trying to drown everything out because then I'm just not being productive. But I think I'd rather not be productive than like hear what I have to say about myself. But I feel like I've run out the gamut on that. So let's talk about, I don't know. I don't think I have anything else to talk about. Well, that was a long silence, and I hated that. So I think this is the end of this episode, at least. I'll probably call this something basic like Streaming into the Void. Uh, but we're definitely going to have other podcast episodes up soon. It's just, it's so lazy, but like, it's easy to do. Like, it helps me feel productive, even though I'm just like talking. But I do need to like put stuff out. And if I'm going to do something lazy, I would rather do it on a different channel than like on the channel I care about. Um, so yeah, this was that. Goodbye.